I hit my fucking weight loss goal. I'm gonna order me a fucking pizza, go out, get fucking shit-faced, and eat mounds of fucking cake to celebrate. It's been a long time coming and shit. Fuck yeah, this is the way to go. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. I could just fucking do what I want now, right? You know, I don't have to go to the gym. I don't have to do this, that, or the other to fucking lose weight. I'm here. I made it. The freedom. I can take a fucking break. I can be relieved. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, all kinds of games. All kinds. And shit. Yeah, it might help if I turn some fucking audio on, huh? Hey, live show fucking fail and shit. Alright, sorry about that. Technical difficulties and shit. Alright, welcome to Scott the Truck Driver Live. Um, for those of you joining me in the chat room, welcome. I appreciate y'all coming. As the way I usually do this is I have a prepared little spiel I give for the first part of the video in which I can't stare at the fucking chat window. So please save your questions, comments that you want me to try and address till after I, open up to, everybody, because it's just me. I don't have a control room, as you saw just now with the fucked up not having audio shit when I was, working. So those of you who are regulars, go ahead and chat amongst yourselves in the chat room, and so on and so forth. I should also mention you can super chat to help support the channel. Not required. It's not why I'm here. I'm here to kind of, first of all, interact with you guys a lot more than I get to just through comments, and also to, go over some of the pitfalls when you achieve your weight loss goal and some of the things that, a lot of you may have even already experienced in your weight loss journeys, and I know I certainly fucking have. So you lost your weight, or, this is something to take note of if you're still on your journey, what to do when you get there. because it's very, very important, and a lot of people don't understand. You know, just to give a quick example of this, you'll have to bear with me here. I did have a video queued up that I want to kind of touch on, to kind of give an indicator of my, what can happen when you get to your goal if you're not careful.
Contestants from the TV show The Biggest Loser, and they found that when the cameras went off, the weight often came back on. Their new study contains some hard and surprising findings about our bodies, and here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
It was a record-breaking moment.
Yeah, a lot of people get there,
and
they get there the hard way.
Pounds, Danny Cahill became the contestant to lose the most weight ever during NBC's reality show, The Biggest Loser.
Danny lost 239 pounds.
He went home with $250,000 that night, literally half the man he used to be.
Danny, your starting weight is 430 pounds.
But it was what came after the after photos that proved the biggest shock to Danny and many of the other contestants.
I didn't want anybody to know I was on The Biggest Loser because obviously I don't look like that anymore.
That's because little did they know what had dropped along with their weight was their metabolism.
It's disheartening
to know
that you can't.
And, a lot of you are intermittent fasting motherfuckers like myself. A lot of you are keto. Some of you are vegan. It's okay. I still love you. But what you gotta understand, even with intermittent fasting, weight gain and weight loss is regulated hormonally, not through calories in, calories out, not through burning more calories than you take in. Hormones dictate whether or not you make fat, whether or not you burn fat, whether or not their fatty acids get mobilized, whether or not your brain runs on glucose or ketones or a little of both. These are all hormonally regulated, and certain kinds of foods trigger different processes in your fucking body. And a lot of people don't take that into account when they're in there pounding the fuckmaster all fucking day. Oh yeah, I'm losing weight. Holy shit, I lost 150 fucking pounds and I'm free. I don't have to pound the fuckmaster for 3 hours a fucking day. But now I'm starting to regain weight because I stopped pounding the fuckmaster for 3 hours a fucking day. Wait a minute, now I have to pound the fuckmaster for 3 hours a fucking day for the rest of my goddamn life. Oh, come on. Now, I fell into this. I've done this. I went to pound the fuckmaster. I lowered my calories. I was on my motherfucking Fitness Pal till no end, counting that shit, making sure I ate my deficit, tried to eat healthy whole foods. We all know how that mostly works out when you're addicted to sugar and, carbs and all of that shit. And, in like them, like this is extreme example, The Biggest Loser shit. But like them, whatever you did to lose the weight, if that's how you lost the weight, this essentially says, and in some cases they did, and still regained weight, which means their metabolism really got fucked. But, once you get to that goal and you do it the old-fashioned fuck the pound, fuck, yeah, something with the fuckmaster you're doing, and you got there, or you did some weird shake diet, or, you bought Weight Watchers, or, you did one of these other money-sucking things, keep you in the hamster wheel for life type ways of losing weight, you eventually start to realize that you have to keep doing that forever. So you really better enjoy the gym if that's how you're losing your weight, because you have to do that forever. And that is not realistic. When you're 50, 60, 70 years old, you are not going to be doing that. I don't care how fucking fit you are. You might be able to walk, but you'll regain weight because you've been used to running all these years. That kind of thing. You might injure yourself. You might, just not have fucking time. That's a big one. So, when you do these things, you have to keep in mind that, even when you hit your goal, you're not done. You're not fucking done. You got to keep doing it at the same fucking level you've been doing it the whole time. And sometimes you hit that plateau and you push that level. You lower your calories another 500. You spend an extra 2 hours a day in the fucking gym just to break that fucking plateau. And we do it with fasting. You hit that plateau when you're fasting and you'll throw out a 7-day fast and you'll get past that plateau. And even if you're eating keto, your body rebounds because of hormones. So what the fuck can we do about it? You know? How did you lose 68 pounds, motherfucker? And how do you plan to not gain it back? Quite simple. Head knowledge. Knowing how your fucking body works. Knowing what hormones do what. Knowing what you eat that triggers those hormonal responses. Knowing that how often you eat also triggers those. And keeping an eye on the metrics of where you're at. I'm going to have a tape measure daily for my entire fucking life to measure the amount of body fat I'm holding around my liver. That's the baseline. All the rest of me is fucking skinny as fuck. You know, I got some loose skin action here and there. It sucks, but who gives a shit? But the point is, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I'm here. Time to go back to fucking cookies and Pop-Tarts and shit. You know, I'll just watch what I'm doing and maybe eat less calories. No, you don't get to do that. You can't eat the shitty foods and expect to keep the weight off. It's just not fucking possible. It could take you a little while to start regaining, and some people can take advantage of that little yo-yo. Okay, I'll just regain 15 pounds and then I'll go ahead and lose it again. Because when you do intermittent fasting and keto, you are armed with the tools that are fucking necessary to keep your weight under your control. And some would argue that's how I've been doing it. And it is, to a degree. But I came to a point where I did plateau and could easily regain weight. I did at one point regain 15 pounds. Just like the motherfuckers on The Biggest Loser. I went right the fuck back up to 215. Y'all may remember it. Happened around January of this year, February, and where I woke up and said, okay, I took my fucking foot off the gas too long, and this is what happened. And then I very quickly got right back on the horse, and here I am today in my fucking 180s, right at my goal, give or take a quarter inch or two, more a quarter inch to a half inch, and I'm trying to keep it there. And I know I can't just fuck around and do that. I can't have carb cycling. I can't have, and by carb cycling, I mean being the asshole. It's like, oh, I can cycle some fucking carbs, so let me eat some sugary shit. No, that's not how it works. Fructose is very fucking bad for your liver. And if you're trying to heal your liver, you're not going to do it if you are over-consuming fructose. Now, we can get into that debate on a different day. But for me, I know that I just can't go back to having the cookies every week. Even if it's once a week, that's how bad it is. I literally stall if I once a week eat that shit or get drunk or do any of the shit that fucks with your liver metabolism. And it does. Alcohol and sugar, particularly fructose, fucks with your liver. And the liver is the root of the problem. It's the one thing you want to work properly if you want to keep your weight off. If you want to be healthy. If you want to not have motherfucking heart disease and all this other shit happen to you. And you want it to fucking stop. You want to be able to be comfortable with what you're eating. You don't want to be fucking hungry. And if you watch that Biggest Loser video that I had up, here, let me throw it up real quick just so you can get a look at the title and the channel and all of that, because I'm too lazy to link it in the description. But if you want to keep the weight off and you want those benefits to be lifelong, you got to keep doing what you're doing. And these fuckers on The Biggest Loser, they were starving after they lost the weight. They were hungry all the time, and they could not, and they knew it after that scientific study. I think it was the NIH did that study. They knew they couldn't go back, and it was like a fucking jail cell for them, because they had to be hungry all the time or they would regain the weight. I've been trying to work on this for a couple years now, and I finally think I've gotten there. And the answer is intermittent fasting, ketogenic diet as a lifestyle choice. Now, do you have to stay keto and do extremely long fasts? No. I contend that when you need a break every once in a great while, that it may actually even be healthy to go on a little carb binge every now and then, but not the sugary shit. But, you know, maybe some of the glucose-based pasta that's going to put some fucking pounds back on your body, you know, that you can easily re-lose. But cycling in and out of keto adaptations is fine. But keto adaptations take 6 to 8 weeks. So the majority of your time should be spent in full-time ketosis, you know, in a full-time ketogenic diet. There's a lot of people going to argue that with me with the cyclical ketogenic diet. I tried that. I tried it. Couldn't lose any inches around my belly. I lost weight. Weight fluctuated, but I still had the same amount of visceral fat, same amount of fatty liver because I kept drinking. I kept fucking eating the shitty shit, and I kept doing that in my little cyclical carb binge window, which, you know, some people might do when they get to their goal. So the fact of it is, what this allows is you aren't going to be hungry long term. You may be a little deprived of some of the shitty, addictive foods that everyone around you is going to offer you, that you're going to see. But the longer you stay on a ketogenic diet without falling off the fucking wagon, without, you know, sitting there saying, oh, you know, I'm just going to have this one cookie today. You know, because if you think about it, how do fucking drug dealers get people hooked to drugs? Hell, here you go, it's free. And how do all your family and friends want to feed you? Hey, look at this, I made you a cake. Enjoy, you fucking fat bastard. Eat some fucking cake. Eat it. Fucking eat it so I can eat it and not feel guilty. You know, it's that's kind of the food environment we fucking live in. And it's hard. Mentally, it's hard. Even when you're not physically craving, which you won't after a while of being fat adapted. And I do not currently physically crave sugar and alcohol. You know, sometimes I'm like, damn, I miss me a cookie. You know, or, ooh, that cupcake looks good. Or, ooh, that mac and cheese, motherfucker. Why are you eating that in front of me? Fuck you. You know, every once in a while, I get those thoughts. But I'm not ready to choke a bitch to get a cookie. You know, I'm not ready to trip somebody so that I can steal some of their fucking fries. You know, these are the things that go away. But it's still a mental game. And we're not there yet. As a society, it's really hard, and it does require work to sustain a ketogenic diet. But that's it. It's a mental game. Because physically, you're not hungry. You're low insulin, so you're not going to be making new fat easily. You can overeat and store some of the fats that you're taking in, but you have ready access to them, you know? And your metabolism isn't going to tank because you are constantly supplying your body's caloric needs. Because once you are fat adapted, you have full, unbridled, easy access to your body fat. As in, if you burn more than you take in from food, your body doesn't know the difference. You don't get fucked. Your leptin levels may drop a little, but because you're not in a constant insulin situation, you are more sensitive to the leptin you have. Therefore, your plateau will be way lower than a carb burner's fucking plateau. Your energy needs will be easily met when you are fueled by ketones and your body fat, as opposed to when you're relying on your little fucking glycogen storage tank, which will fucking, you know, empty. And you'll know it, because if you're depending on your short-term energy storage, your burst energy storage, as 90% of fucking people are nowadays, you are going to regularly be hungry, especially if you lost the weight in an energy deficit way. Fasting can also tank your metabolism. Make no mistake, anywhere from 3 to 4 days of a fast, your metabolism will drop down. You will notice it. You'll get cold easily. Your energy that you're used to on the shorter fasts goes away. You feel a little run down, a little bit shitty. I only know this from my 5-day fasting experience. There'll be other bursts of energy as you go on. You know, you will burn off some lean mass during this process, especially if you're not fat adapted and you're doing a long fast, because your body is still looking for glucose. And when you stop eating proteins and sugars, then it's going to go to your lean mass to get those amino acids that are required for you to survive. Oh, that was good. So, you know, it's mainly don't drop the ball once you get to where you're going. And it kills me when I see people busting their ass. You know, when I see somebody drastically overweight, morbidly obese in some cases, talking about, I got to go to the gym, I got to get in shape, I got to, you know, yeah, you can go to the gym and build some muscle and build some endurance, but it has nothing to fucking do with weight loss. In fact, I would contend if you do that and you don't eat enough calories to compensate for the extra energy you're burning, you are setting yourself up for metabolic disaster, as in you will tank your metabolism, much like the motherfuckers right there on The Biggest Motherfucking Loser, you know, much like they did. You're setting yourself up in a more, you know, mild way, because they did the extreme. That's the extreme version of what everyone thinks you have to do to lose weight nowadays. Now, thankfully, our knowledge has come a long way. We've definitely learned. We're learning together as we share our experiences, as we realize, hey, this is fucked up. I can't keep fucking doing the same fucking shit. And nowadays, when I hear somebody telling me the same fucking shit to lose weight that I've tried over and over again throughout the years and failed at, and then I've realized that once you go out there and you learn how your body works, you become empowered to take fucking control of your body, of your hormones, of your fucking life, of your lifestyle, of everything. When you learn how this motherfucker works, when you learn how this motherfucking liver and digestive system work, when you learn how your hormones function, and we're hormonally driven fucking creatures. Ask anybody who had a boner recently. I'm pretty sure there's some hormones involved in that. Once you get control of your hormones, you have all the power necessary to lose the weight and keep it off the rest of your life without suffering constant fucking hunger, constant having to fucking work out. Most of the weight I lost was at normal energy expenditure or less. I do a lot of sedentary motherfucking things. I drive. I'm Scott the fucking sit on his ass fucking all day truck driver. All right? I'm not working physical jobs. You know? Even now that I'm out of trucking, I sit on my ass in front of this fucking computer most of the day, editing, researching, putting shit together, responding to comments, doing all of that shit on the channel, and then I go out and sit on my ass in the car and drive fucking people around to make money that way. The only activity I get is when I get to go out on these little adventures. One of the reasons I do them is it gets me the fuck out there. It motivates me. It keeps me physically active, but to a moderate degree. A lot of people overdo it in my book with the exercise and the, you know, the fucking crap that we put ourselves through, all in the guise of health. While forgetting that whole, we got to be happy too and not be miserable. And that's the key to sustainability, is if you're happy with what you're doing. And a lot of people that come to my channel, they've done a lot of these other things and they just weren't happy with what they were doing. And they wanted to try something else. Keep trying these things, but just keep in mind in the back of your head that no matter what you did to lose the weight, you have to keep fucking doing that the rest of your life. And even in some extreme cases, especially when it's involved with extreme amounts of energy expenditure with very little caloric intake, that is something that's going to bite you in the ass, because you could tank your metabolism to the point where even if you keep that same calorie deficit and that same level of physical activity, you might still rebound weight gain despite all of that. So you got to be careful with your hormones and realize the types of foods you are eating are way more important than how many hours you spend sticking your dick in the fuckmaster at the gym. All right? So that's my spiel. You know, as for me, I am not going to stop my ADF protocol. I am going to continue my keto adaptation. I do plan on taking a carb break of moderation. I'm trying to not get a lot of sugar and alcohol back into my life, but I might have a drink day and, maybe I'll have a piece of cake day when I go on vacation in November. That'll probably be 9 or 10 weeks of strict keto adaptation prior to that and no alcohol. And then when I come back, I'm hopping right back on the horse. I'll obviously document the weight regain, which will happen when I go on vacation. I know it's coming. I'm prepared for it. I'm not going to be hard on myself. I'm going to enjoy my time. Then I'm going to come back and fix what I fuck up during that damage while trying not to get re-addicted to the shit that I was addicted to. And I'm going to go through another withdrawal period, another energy crisis, all of the things that fucking happen when you do these things. These are important. You have to be able to sustain what lifestyle choice you made to lose the weight. And I contend that lifestyle choice should not be tons of gym time. You shouldn't be having to pay for it. You shouldn't be having to fucking spend your hard-earned cash to do something your body is well-equipped to do, where all you have to do is change your motherfucking head knowledge and understand how your internal body works. The biochemistry, which is, the science is there. You can open a biochemistry or an endocrinology textbook and, after you read it 700 times, maybe get the gist of what's going on. I realize it's complicated, but you can also find smart-ass motherfuckers that already did all of that, and they sum it up for you. I tend to lean more towards that because I don't have a lot of free time. Otherwise, I'd be in college learning this shit. But you just got to do what you can do to keep your knowledge ahead of the game. And when you do that, when you empower yourself, when you step outside this fucking weight loss box and you stop buying products and supplements, that's another one that I get a lot of. A lot of people trying to say, I do this supplement, that supplement, this supplement. And, I always think back, back in the hunter-gatherer days where we supplement and shit. Fuck no, we weren't. And our bodies do not require that stuff. In some situations, if you are in something is missing from your diet and it's deficient, which can be possible in today's food environment, but if you work hard at the foods that you put into your body, you don't need massive amounts of supplementation. That's my spiel on that. Don't want to get into that debate, though. So, now that we're done pounding fuckmasters and we done lost all our weight, I am done with my spiel for this live session. So now we're going to get into the comments. I haven't been reading them. I haven't been following them. So let's get into them. I noticed first right off the bat, Misty is here. Scott is a great friend of mine. Yes, Misty also came very far in her weight loss journey, but she didn't do it the way I did it. Which is fine, like I said, as long as you keep doing what you're doing. But there's nothing to say you couldn't have done it the hard way and switch. You might have already lost all your weight and maybe tanked your metabolism a little, but that doesn't mean it's too late to, not get in there and be like, okay, I'm already here. I did all this hard work to get here. How can I stay here? And that's when you start looking at your metabolism and how the body works. So it's good to see that Misty's here taking in some of the knowledge, a little alternative to the way that maybe you lost the weight. And that's fine. I'm not trying to criticize people that worked hard to get where they're at. I'm just saying, just keep in mind, when you tire of doing that, there is a way to stay without necessarily tanking your metabolism. And that would be to manipulate the hormones so you don't regain the weight. If your insulin is low consistently, you can't make fat. You can't make new fat. You can store fat you take in. If your metabolism's tanked and you're taking in just fats and proteins with very little carbs, yeah, you're not spiking your insulin that much. You do when you eat some meats and proteins. But if you just eat fat only, you're still burning that same lower amount of energy for your tanked metabolism, but it's coming, in the form of fat, which will cycle in and out of fueling. And, your body doesn't feel deprived when it has endless access to your body fat and the fat on, so on and so forth. So Yamamoto saying, besides all this, meditation actually has helped me a lot. Like 10 minutes a day is all added to me. Regimen helps me. I do agree that meditation can definitely help. From the mental health aspects I've been approaching lately, and the fact of, the balance between dopamine and serotonin, rumination, where you are constantly thinking about the past, is one of the things that can drive you to depression. And thinking about the uncertainty of your future can cause stress about, fear and anxiety about making the same mistakes or making a mistake or two. What meditation does is allow you a time period to get you in the right fucking here, right fucking now, and not thinking about either one of those. And when you get your brain to that point, which is a little bit of work, it requires there's different methods. There's guided meditation, there's focusing on your breathing, there's that kind of shit. I'm dipping my big toe and maybe a little bit of my dick into this realm of meditation. So when you can clear your mind and get to that baseline to where you are in the moment, where you're concentrating on your surroundings, on yourself, on your immediate physical sounds, that kind of stuff, living in the moment gives your brain a rest and gives your dopamine and serotonin a chance to level out properly. It's not a permanent thing. I'm not saying meditation is going to cure the world, but you can give your brain breaks from thinking about the past and the future and the anxiety and stress, and not to mention the proven ketogenic effects on the mood swings, so that you aren't constantly in that up down motherfucking cycle. So there's a whole bunch of people loving the fuckmaster, It's all right if that's your thing. I myself, it's not for me. I do not want to spend several hours of my week, some people go every day. That's not me. I don't have time for that shit. I'd rather stay home and pound the other fuckmaster. So, hey Scott, this is from Alex. Hey Scott, I know you've mentioned this before, but how strictly do you count calories on keto? Very good question. Not at all, because fuck that shit. I haven't counted calories in over a year and a half. I do pay attention to food labels. I generally consume anywhere from 30 to 50 grams of carbs per day. I keep track of my carbs the best I can. You generally know from feeling when you overdo it on carbs. But I don't give a fuck how many calories of fat and protein, because I have counted in the past, and I do know that I get full long before I can out-eat my energy needs for the day. And the whole point of the ketogenic diet is to get your hormones, your apostat, in balance. It's not a weight loss diet, believe it or not. It is a diet to normalize your brain's hormones so that you can achieve energy balance without counting calories. It's doing what our bodies are supposed to fucking do. Did you think the fucking hunter-gatherers 10,000 plus years ago were sitting there with their goddamn iPhone and their little fucking smartwatch going, Jesus Christ, I took 10,000 fucking steps today. That's 268 fucking calories. I better not fucking eat. I gotta eat this much fucking to make that up. And no. Our brains can do it. Our bodies aren't dumb. We're dumb. We fuck our bodies up. But our bodies, if you leave them the fuck alone, they know what they're doing. And once you get away from the sugar, the processed foods, the crap, you're allowing your body to do its fucking job, and you don't have to waste your time, energy, and stress worrying about that shit anymore. So thanks for that question. You sent me off on a nice little fucking tyrant on that. So, Roman, what's your take on if it fits your macros? Before I answer that question, thank you, Yamamoto, for donating $2 to help me not be a broke motherfucker on YouTube. So I appreciate it. And shit. All kinds. Sorry, I'm still fired up from seeing the Hodge twins live. If it fits your macros, I started that. I think when you first start out on keto, it does help to track your macros. But what you got to realize is once you are fat adapted, once your body is comfortable using ketones and fat for energy, you no longer need to be concerned with hitting your fat macro, especially if you're carrying a lot of body fat, because your body will fill in the gaps of your energy requirement. As I said, your body will not notice as much the fat loss because it's getting its energy needs. Now, as you get closer and closer to lower body fat levels, your brain does stop your weight loss. It does rebound. You will plateau on a ketogenic diet, and that's what it's designed for. That's why I sprinkle in intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting gives you some time to use the energy you may store without skipping a beat, really, because you're used to using your fat for energy. And the longer you stay on a ketogenic diet, and I'm kind of showing this by the fact that I did break 2 plateaus now over a very long, slow period of time, that you do eventually lower your set point. But it's not an overnight thing. You didn't raise your set point overnight. You're not going to lower it overnight. You can't force it down. You can't go, do a 30-day fast and expect that you're going to keep all the weight loss you do during a 30-day fast. You're going to regain weight, especially on the long fasts. And that's proven. That will happen. You will regain weight. It's more about keeping your body in this state of burning fat comfortably, easily being able to switch between your food and, your fat. That's the key. And yes, learning to consume copious amounts of fat and not overconsume protein is one of the keys of the ketogenic diet. And I think in the beginning, you could benefit from tracking your macros that way with my fucking Pound Master fucking Fitness Pal and shit. But once you're comfortable and you know where you're at, because we tend to eat the same shit all the time, you can drop that and just eat intuitively. And on the ketogenic diet, leave the weight loss for the fasts. Eat when you're hungry. Don't eat when you're not hungry. And it's real easy to get full on a ketogenic diet. So, all right. Sorry, you guys are chatting a lot today. You guys are going fucking a million miles an hour here. So if I don't get to your chat, I'm sorry. That's one of the things with doing these in such a huge setting. Chat tends to flow a little faster than I can keep up with because I do like to thoroughly address questions I do catch. So what do we got here? Let's see. Brenda Webb, don't mention fasting to people. They'll never understand. No, I'm finding that that's changing. Like when I say it in, public, I don't get as many strange looks anymore. I think the knowledge is spreading about fasting, and we're undoing a lot of the old paradigms. The whole fat is bad and going to kill you paradigm, that's almost dead now. Even, the dietary guidelines have slightly changed in that regard. It's going to take a while for everyone to not give you a deer in the headlights when you start talking about this stuff. But I think as people keep seeing other people get results with less effort and less money spent, that they'll start to understand the value of returning to the way we used to eat. And we used to fast 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, in our hunter-gatherer times. And we used to eat ketogenic because the carbs and vegetables we ate were not high. And they were very fiber-rich compared to the shit we do now. And as we return to that shit, as the closer we can get to the way we are designed to eat, the less you have to actively do to maintain your weight and health. When measuring your waist, how do you differentiate between visceral fat? This is Jethro. Thank you, U-Turn. Just noticed that popped. I was trying to read Jethro's question. But thanks again for making me be able to do this a little bit more time during the week and not make money other ways. Jethro, when measuring your waist, how do you differentiate between visceral fat and subcutaneous fat and water weight loss? Well, after you've been doing this for as long as I have now, you know when it's water weight because you'll be pissing like a racehorse. You will know. I know when I take a shit. I know. And I do often weigh myself after I excessively piss and take a dump just to kind of get an idea how much of that weight I was carrying. And you carry 4 to 6, sometimes 8 pounds of water weight. And it's all when your glycogen's full and when you've done all of that, that's a lot of water weight. And the measurement around your waist does fluctuate with water weight. You do get bloated. You will gain an inch or two periodically around the belly. I measure the belly only because that's the only spot that I'm holding fat right now. My arms, not fat. My legs, not fat. My face, not fat. My neck, not fat. A little bit of man-tit action. Some of that's loose skin, too. I got some loose skin action under my fucking ass cheeks. So I was fortunate enough that all my loose skin found in a place that nobody wants to fucking look at anyway. So, there's that. You don't lose yourself in the measurement. A lot of people are like, I got to measure my ketones. I got to make sure I'm in proper level of ketosis. You got to do all this shit. And, metrics are fine if you're one of those types that likes to measure everything. But it's not something that should drive up your stress and anxiety. You should be results-based. Are you getting the end result that you want? And that's how I've been measuring for the past year or so. Is the scale moving the way I want it to move? How do I look in the mirror when I fuck myself in the morning? Which I do. I'm like, maybe I'd fuck me. A few more pounds. Or you did the tape measure. Now, my routine now, I take my morning piss. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night to take a piss, depending on water weight and whatnot. And I get on the scale after I start my coffee, because coffee. And then I go in while that's brewing and I measure my belly. And I read somewhere, I don't know how accurate it is, that it should be half your height around your belly button. So 36 inches is mine for me. Now, does that mean that I have no fatty liver issues? Fuck no. No, it means I'm at lower risk of metabolic diseases, heart disease, and that was my goal. It no longer became about aesthetics, seeing my fucking abs, attracting women, none of that shit is on my radar when it comes to this stuff. It is mainly, I don't want to die the 20-year slow death that drains all of my fucking finances. I do not want to be an active participant in the healthcare industry with drugs and fucking doctor visits and all of that shit. I want my health under my fucking control, and I've pretty much achieved that. I don't get sick very much. I don't break out. I'm not having intense, insane allergic reactions when I go out to do my wildernessy shit. I'm not saying I'm allergy free, but I'm nowhere near as bad as I used to be. And I used to be fucking, look like I got hit by a fucking freight train if a cat even farted my way, or if I walked through in the springtime in the woods, at full fucking pollen levels. I would be fucking miserable. Not the case anymore. It's because I've got the rest of my health under control that all these things are falling in line, and I believe liver health is the biggest thing we've fucked up in the past 40 years, and we need to fucking get that shit under control. So that's what I'm doing. So I don't measure everything. I'm not, about counting calories. I'm not about going to the gym. When I eat, on my eat days, and for those of you unfamiliar, I do 36-hour eating windows with 36 to 44 hours of fasting, alternating. And it's been sustainable. And the more keto adapted I've become on this adaptation, I'm almost to 4 weeks. It'll be 4 weeks shortly. The easier those fasts get. I don't get hungry. I can sit and watch a motherfucker eat a bowl of mac and cheese right in front of me while drinking water and black coffee. I've done that. And I also know that if I'm really going to cave, I can just put some fat in my coffee and not really skip a beat because it doesn't take you out of autophagy. It doesn't do anything. Protein does that. Fat alone does not. So, thank you, Janie, for helping me say fuck a lot more because goddamn Google doesn't want to pay me to say fuck anymore. So now I can say fuck with fucking conviction. I can make the vein pop out of my forehead when I say fuck. Thanks to you guys contributing through Super Chat and, of course, to my patrons on Patreon who have definitely fucking helped me out. I have not been able to keep up with chat, so I do apologize for that. If there's any questions that you wish I would have gotten to, One of the things I'm going to be doing now is going through comments, you know, and you see these little rants I go on when I answer a question. Leave them in comments of videos, because I do read those eventually. Sometimes, you know, when I'm taking a shit, or, you know, when I'm doing things that are sedentary, I tend to be reading your comments. And during those times, I plan on trying to make targeted videos towards questions that come up in the comments. But till then, I'll keep doing live shows too, and hopefully I can catch that. Also, my patrons are getting their own live stream, which is a much smaller, easier to follow format, to where I can take my time and go through the comments. But with videos like this, people come and find these after the fact and want a constant stream. They don't want dead air and all of that shit. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. So let's see here. I'm going to scroll back a little, because I feel like I missed a lot of shit here. All right, CS. Call it what you want. 500 calories per day is kicking ass for me. 5-6 day fast, so much easier, and I'm working out too. That's fine. I want you to know that in the future, that's what you have to do to stay. You're going to plateau at some point doing that, because your metabolism is going to go down, because your body does not like when you are burning more energy than you're taking in on a consistent level. And if bad foods are part of that equation, it exacerbates the whole fucking thing. But do what you got to do. I'm not here to discourage anyone that has an alternative way of losing weight, as long as you go in knowing, you know, that as long as you go in aware that this shit could happen to you, you know. This could happen.
Would prove to be a breakthrough to understanding why
you see,
so
he's
many
pounding the
struggle
fuck
to keep
master.
off the weight they lose. In a new NIH study that has everybody
You should check out that study, by the way. I have
14 of the 16 contestants from season
14
8
out of 16 of the motherfuckers.
monitoring them for 6
This is the
years
extreme
after the show.
version of what you're
They
doing
found
with
that
that
all but
calorie
one
restriction.
had gained some of the weight back.
You know?
4 of them even reported being heavier now.
4
than
are
at the beginning
heavier.
of the show.
Now, is it all because they had fucking bad willpower? No! Your hormones control that shit. You slow your metabolism down. Doesn't matter willpower. You have no control over that. If we could control our hormones with the power of our fucking minds, we'd be in a goddamn Marvel movie. So, you know, that's kind of what I have to say about that. But thanks. That was a nice little rant you sent me on. Let me, I'm going back down to real time here. By real time, I mean 30-second delay. Let's see. Rich Allen, Scott. I have recently been diagnosed with hypertension and placed on a high dose of blood pressure medication and diuretic. I am a little concerned with taking this medication. First of all, I need to preface my comment on this to I am not a fucking expert. I am just an asshole. My recommendation would be to consult a naturopathic type doctor on this issue, someone who knows all of this shit, because most of the doctors don't. Most of the pill salesmen don't. And find out, have them work with you. And you might have to dig to find a doctor that is on board with nutrition as a form of treatment for issues. And some of them are going to be the veganators, you know. But I would contend that even the vegan diet will take you out of that fucking thing that's causing your blood pressure, which is, what do you think I'm going to say here? Carbs and sugar, particularly fructose. And you might think, I'm eating healthy. Well, you don't know that your shit's being spiked with sugar and you don't even know it. Shit that you think's healthy. That nice fruity looking yogurt that says organic, all natural fucking shit. Or you're shopping in the all natural, fucking organic every fucking 3 feet section of the fucking thing, and it's organic sugar. Which your liver doesn't give a fuck if it's organic or not. It's still gonna fuck you if you don't, you know, consume it in extreme moderation. So that's pretty much where we're at. Hold on, I gotta look at something here. Let's see. Open a new tab. All right, I'm just making sure I'm keeping up. All right. What else we got here? Brenda, have you heard of the HCG diet? No, I have not. mainly because I'm not really looking into other diets at this point. I've honed in and been refining keto. Um, I occasionally research things like the egg diet and the no-carb carnivore diet because I am intrigued that there are populations that consume no carbohydrates. However, I do believe in it. It takes to extreme the kinds of meats we have to consume, and I do believe that in our current food market, it would be damn near impossible to get all of our nutrition from meat alone, and cheese and fat and that kind of stuff. I think we still need vegetables, and the nutrition of our vegetables is questionable at this point, to supplement, for lack of a better fucking word, the fact that we don't eat organ meats regularly. We don't eat other organs of the animal. We eat the leanest parts of the animal with the least amount of fat because we still have not gotten on board with getting the fatty cuts of meat in there. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't feel the need to change because I am generally happy with the foods that I am allowed to eat, and with a clear-cut, unfucking blurrable line between the bad foods and the good foods that going ketogenic has allowed me to draw, so that there's no doubt when I'm fucking up, and that there's no doubt when I'm doing the right things. So I'm really not interested in trying other diets. I may in the future evaluate them, but by no means do I feel the need to do a self-experiment with a new diet when the one I'm doing is working just fine. And that's usually how people are. They do something, it works, they keep doing it. And they don't go looking for alternatives. Sometimes doing it in a very difficult, very labor-intensive way, but they know it works, so they keep doing it. And that's pretty much where I'm at, and I'm happy that I don't have a labor-intensive way of keeping my weight down. All right, Ifran, or Irfan, I keep fucking your name up. But, you comment a lot, too. 3,500 calories. That is what you need to burn to kill a pound of fat. I did it for years, taught it. At 50, I can't do it anymore. Thank God for keto, ADF, water fasting. And that is a rough estimate of the amount of calories in a pound of fat. And that's true, but it's really difficult to measure how much fat you are burning because there is so much more in the equation of motherfucking weight. There is a lot more to it than just the 3,500 calories. Our body isn't as straightforward as energy in, energy out. There's a little bit of in-between shit that can derail that, you know, and with our metabolic rates being able to shift on a dime and being able to go up and down, you know, without much control on our part, that's kind of where we got to keep the hormones and our metabolism in mind whenever we're talking about how many calories are involved in anything, because your body is really good at compensating if you are in a calorie deficit. So it's a little slow on the uptake. You'll have initial weight loss, but it'll come back. You know, there's no study that proves a way to do eat less, move more, and keep it off when you stop eating less and moving more. You know, something's going to give at some point. Slowly, won't happen overnight, but just keep in mind that if you eat less, move more for weight loss, you're going to have to eat less, move more to keep it off. And you might even have to eat even less and move even fucking more to keep it off if you're not careful, if you overdo it. So, yes, try strength training. It's not like the Fuckmaster, because after losing fat, you will see there's not much muscle. Great feeling to see improvement. I might do some strength training, but not, you know, more in a way to gain some strength, not for, you know, aesthetic purposes. I kind of just want to do the things I want to do. I'll hike carrying a shit ton of weight, and I'll probably put on a little muscle when I do that. What I don't want to do is spend 4 to 6 years pounding away in the gym, lifting weights, you know, being a gym rat to build shit tons of muscle, which you don't get to keep if you stop doing that too. Ask any bodybuilder. If you're not in there constantly working your gains, your body's going to be like, hey, what do I need all this fucking muscle for? So it's a lifestyle commitment to become muscular and built and stacked. And I am blown away by people that do it. It's definitely something that, you know, is to be appreciated. The amount of work goes into building muscle and to building strength, and, you know, how you feel. You probably feel pretty good when you do that level of training, and I don't dispute that at all. But it is something that, like everything else in our fucking metabolism, has to be consistent to keep those gains. So, you know, that's why they do this carb cycling and the whole intermittent fasting. Bodybuilders, a lot of pros, they try and shed the fat to get shredded. And, you know, that's a lot of, and it's a great hobby, I guess, if that's your thing. It's not mine. My interests are more intellectual than physical. And I'm happy just being a healthy motherfucker. And I'm at 41, you know, what kind of muscle am I going to build? You know, it's 10 times harder for me to build muscle than a 21-year-old, you know? So what would be the point, really? You know, it's not a thing for me. You know, I try and train doing the things that I normally want to do. Riding a bike, going on long hikes, carrying a lot of gear, you know, and I'm a little rusty in some of those departments. So I do argue I should get out with some heavy weight on my back and get on some more difficult hikes more often. And next year, it's on my list. You know, once I'm established here, once I can, you know, relax a little, just do the work, maybe full-time YouTube at some point. Once I do that, I just want to be able to be fit enough and healthy enough to do the physical activities I enjoy. I don't want to bust my ass to build a shit ton of muscle when all I'm going to do is sit in this chair and edit videos all week. You know, it's the wrong muscle I need to work out. I need to work out this muscle. This is the muscle that's important to me. That being said, the Hodge twins kick ass. All kinds. And if you're going to build muscle, I'd recommend watching them because they're probably pretty good at it at this point. All right. What else we got here? Are we winding down here? I haven't even looked to see how long I've been on here. It's been almost an hour. So we're getting to the end of the live show today. Let me scroll back here and see what motherfuckers is saying. Let's see. Fat Bike Mike Bacone. Is that all? That's a long-ass motherfucking name. You're creating a sense of community just like TBL contestants had then lost. I'm sure Dr. Lustig mentioned that. It's just integral to lifestyle change. I know. Duh, motherfucker. All right. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons I like doing these videos and these talks and interacting with you guys is because it is a sense of community. I learn from you guys as much as you might learn from me, or so on and so forth. I am by no means a lead expert in this field. I just do a lot of research and self-experimentation to get where I'm at and stay where I'm at. And I'm not always right. You know, if you go back to my earlier videos, you'll see I sometimes was full of shit. And back then I'd preached some of the shit that gets preached to me now. I used to be all about counting calories and going to the gym and, you know, and I learned very quickly that I was spinning my wheels doing that, and that I could achieve these things without going and doing all of that. So, you know, by all means, you know, whatever way works for you. I'm just here, you know, the community I have established doing this is of people that have done a lot of these things that get thrown my way, and for one reason or another wanted another way of doing it. And that's what I'm presenting is I tried the eat less, move more. I tried the diets. I did all of that. But I was looking for a lifestyle that did not seem like labor, that did not feel oppressive, that did not leave me hungry all the time, that didn't, you know, just constantly force me to spend shit tons of money, you know, in supplements or in gym memberships. And that, you know, I wanted something, because it didn't make sense to me. It never made sense to me doing all of that, because we were thin as fuck back, you know, before agriculture. We were built. We saw our fucking abs. It was normal. you know. Rare were obesity. Rare was heart disease. And even today, some hunter-gatherer tribal nations who haven't been exposed to our shit fucking diet, you can see the same things. They aren't thinking about it. They're trying to find food so they don't fucking die. That's their only concern. We have food everywhere. You know? Arm's reach, requires no work. We got grocery stores full of this shit. We ain't worried about that. But maybe we should be, because look at what happened to us. Look where we're at today. So, what else we got here? Bodybuilding, sorry. Bodybuilding is a lifestyle and takes over everything. In fact, most of the day, evening, and weekend. True story. But there are people who like that. There are people who enjoy that, and more power to them. It is a good pursuit. You are going to be a lot healthier doing that shit. Because, quite frankly, if you're a bodybuilder, aside from the dirty bulking motherfuckers, you have to eat fairly clean if you're looking to be competition-y. You know, if you're looking to get out there and really, you know, show all the fucking striations and all that other shit about your muscles, you're going to have to clean up your diet. You know, even if you're eating carbs. And, you know, the strength training, like I said, you're not going to fuck your metabolism as bad, I don't believe, as you do with cardio. But I do believe that when you're building muscle, you need to be, you know, over-consuming energy. You obviously need more energy to grow muscle tissue, and enough protein to, you know, synthesize muscle. So it's a whole thing. It's do what you gotta do. You know, all of this is just advice. Do what the fuck you want to do. Hodge Twins might sue me for saying that in my video. Sorry. But did they trademark that? I don't know. All right. Tita Bonita. Or Tita Bonita. Yeah, Tito Bonita. That sounds good, right? I work out because it makes me feel good. But do know, like that, it makes me hungrier. And yeah, anybody who works out can tell you, you know, you get hungry. That's normal. It's your body's hormonal response to burning shit tons of extra energy. Your body knows what the fuck it's doing. And most of the weight loss comes when you willpower your way through that hunger, but you can only do that for so long before the body says, all right, motherfucker, I told you to eat. You didn't fucking eat. All right? So now you're going to enjoy sitting on the couch a lot more. You're not going to feel like getting up and doing shit. Yeah, you may force yourself to go to the gym, but when you're home, you're watching Netflix, bitch. That's what's going to happen. Your brain is going to fuck with you the longer you do it if you're in a constant energy deficit. My contention is if you love going to the gym, building strength, endurance, and all of that shit, you need to eat when you are hungry, and you need to eat the proper foods, which is not sugar. Not sugar, not fructose. Carbs, okay. You burn off most of your glycogen because you were in there pounding the fuckmaster. Most of the carbs, the simple carbs, the ones that are glucose only, will go into that glycogen. Fructose only goes into the liver. And your liver isn't a huge tank for glycogen. So, exercising isn't draining your liver as much as it is your muscles. So I would contend somebody massively physical active can have more non-sugar carbs in their life successfully because all they're doing is replenishing glycogen. However, they're still going to be hungry as fuck. They still need a moderate amount of protein and a decent amount of fat. That being said, I'm not an expert in bodybuilding. That's just my thoughts on what bodybuilders and athletes could do that don't necessarily want to be ketogenic. However, there are very successful ketogenic strength trainers and very successful ketogenic, you know, endurance athletes. You know, the ones that run 100 miles and shit. setting records because they don't have to gel, they don't have to do anything. They're used to burning their fat. So that's that. Oh, let's see. I think we're just about done for today. So I want to take some time to thank all of you who came to the chat room. I will stick around and go through chat a little bit, for those of you who want to talk in the chat room once the videos end, just for a few minutes, so that way we can be a little more real time, because every time I read a chat comment and come on here and answer and address it, I generally miss like 20 other chats. So I want to be able to get in and chat with you guys a bit. So stick around for that if you want to. But I want to close this video and saying, I hope I didn't piss off you fuckmaster pounders. Keep pounding. I just want you to know the truth about it. The things that they don't tell you when you go to the gym. That's all. If you feel good, you're healthier than you were, it's maybe keeping you eating healthier, do it. Keep doing it. And then maybe once you get tired of that, if you ever do, then you have a tool now that you can work with to transition from that to rebuilding your metabolism without putting on all the weight. And I contend if one of these Biggest Loser motherfuckers had transitioned to a ketogenic and intermittent fasting approach, they probably wouldn't have put on as much weight. They would have put on some weight because their metabolism is tanked. But I think over time, they would have normalized a lot better. And I'm willing to contend that they thought they were eating healthy afterwards and probably were getting a lot of the hidden sugars that we get in our supermarket and in our restaurants and in our fast food places. And that was what was fucking up the system and keeping them at that lower metabolism. Because you don't bounce back quick when your metabolism's tanked. You stay there a while, a long while, a year in some cases, if you read that study that they were talking about. So that's the moral of the story. Once you get to your goal, don't give up. You're still got to do the work you've been doing. Because if you let up, I don't have to go to the gym anymore, I hit my goal. Guess what? You're going to end up back at the gym 2 or 3 months down the line because you'll have regained 15 to 20 pounds. Sorry, hate to be the bearer of bad news. That's what'll happen. Can happen with just fasting too, by the way. Fasting does trigger that survival response. Sorry to say it. Combining fasting with a ketogenic diet gives you the best of both worlds, manages your hormones, makes it seamless transitioning from dietary fat to your body fat as a source of energy without panicking your fucking hormones in your brain in the process. And that seems to be the path to weight stability and keeping it off while not constantly being hungry and suffering. So, thank you for everyone that contributed in the super chat to this video. If you would like my daily typed blog, it's $1 a month over on patreon.com. Link will eventually be in the description. It's not there yet. Or maybe it is. I don't remember if I fucking put it there or not. And, do what it is that makes you happy. I'm not a fucking expert. This is my very, very opinionated opinion on the subject. And I want to thank, everyone that has helped me continue to grow this channel so that I can continue to learn shit, try shit, share shit. And that's what I want to do. I'd want to do this for a living. I wish I could. I hope I do. And you guys are making that possible, both with your donations here on the live chat and with Patreon, because I don't know how long Google's going to keep fucking putting up with my ass. They're masturbating about it. They demonetize a fucking video, and then 2 days later it comes back up as monetized. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that algorithm that's pissing off a lot of YouTubers, but I don't want that to be my stress, so I'm no longer playing to that. You know, I am here because you guys want me here. And as long as you guys want me here and you watch my shit and people help support the time it takes to make this shit, I will keep making this shit. And even if I can't make a living at it, there'll always be videos coming out. Maybe once a week at that point. So, give you a shit ton of content for the weekend. I'm taking weekends off. That's a thing. So that's written in stone at this point. Weekends are mine. I might film something during a weekend, but I won't be editing, commenting, and doing all of that shit. So, for those of you in the chat room, go ahead and stick around and have a nice motherfucking day. And then sit here patiently as I go to roll some motherfucking credits and shit. So you have to go in and find my credits. You get to watch me do this. This is like some behind the scenes shit. Holy shit, yeah. I update my credits every time I get a new producer. Yeah, here we go. Ah, look at that. Oh, you might want music too, right? Yeah, there you go. I love you all. Yeah.